Hi guys, Kurume Marabella here, and welcome to Car Talk with Kurumi. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what would be a suitable introduction to this Car Talk segment, and I figured it had to be something relatable and fairly easy to follow. Hence, I decided to look at some cars which have had a significant impact on the South African motoring culture. Please do note that I may not be able to look into all the key features of some of these vehicles as I don't want this video to be too lengthy. So for simplification, I'll basically be looking at two categories. Firstly, I'll look at your sports slash daily drivers. Then I'll also look at your lifestyle vehicles. First look at daily driver slash sports cars, and I think the first car that jumps into my mind has to be the BMW 3 Series E30, popularly known as Gusheshe, Tambala Mahomusha, you name it. These were offered with an inline-six engine that had an amazing exhaust note, and the fact that they were rear-wheel drive made them fairly easy to get sideways, and to date they remain favorites among spinners countrywide. Special mention goes to the 325i, 325IS, and the ultra rare 333i. Then there was a successor to the E30, the E36, aka Dolphin. The fact that the styling was so simplistic, I think, made it ever so appealing. Then you fast forward to generation E90. To date, I feel like this is probably one of the best 3 series ever made. It proves to be solid, and lest we forget, the entry from this generation had a naturally aspirated V8 engine with a glorious exhaust note. They certainly don't make them like they used to before. Then we have to move away from the BMW staple and look at the hot hatch. And I think the craze began with the Mark III Golf, the GTI, and the VR6. But we'll just focus on the VR6. The VR6 icon. Basimane ba di thegile. Very few remain, and the owners of those cars do not want to part with them. Similar to the Mark IV and Mark V Golf R32, these cars were just special, way before their time, and they were quick. Like the VR6, had very few driver aids, very quick, and ended up in a ditch. Very few remain, and if you want one, you'll probably pay a premium. Special mention goes to Mark 1 Golf. It's not a hot hatch per se, but I think this is one of the cars that basically paved the way for all this entry level cars, the likes of your Polos, your Clios, your Mazda 2s, you name it. This is probably the car that paved the way for them. It was easy to run, it was fairly inexpensive, and so many other things, and it was reliable. Safety was a concern, but at the time, safety wasn't really much of a priority, so we'll forgive them for that. Then we'll jump into the Opel Cadet, the 200 IS and the 200 TS. So the 200 IS had around 90 kilowatts, the 200 TS had about 151 kilowatts. To put things into context, a modern day GTI, Polo GTI, has about 147 kilowatts. The Cadet, a car which was manufactured in 1994, had 151 kilowatts. That should give you an idea of how quick this car was. It was termed a GTI killer. Then there's the Nissan Sentra, the 200 STI. I think it shared an engine with the 200 IS for the Cadet, had around 90 kilowatts. It was quite a nice car as well. Then there's the Mazda 3 MPS. I think this was Mazda's way of proving that they too are capable of producing high performance hatchback that can keep up with the German counterparts. Then there's the Honda Civic Type R. These two, it's an acquired taste. Then Subaru Impreza WRX STI. This usually came with a blue color scheme, gold wheels, and a huge exhaust at the back. Then what else am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Yeah, I think that's about it for the hot hatch. And now let's look at the sports SUVs. I think one of the cars that paved the way for sports SUVs was the BMW X5 4.8 IS, and as my personal favorite, the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8. I think the first one usually came with mid-mounted exhaust, twin exhausts, and to date, this remains one of my favorite products from the Jeep brand. I think it would be a great injustice if I didn't mention the Honda S2000. It was a two-seater lightweight sports car that revved all the way to 7,000 RPM, purebred. And there was also the option of the Mazda MX-5 2-liter lightweight sports car, pure fun. Then the sensible options: Toyota Corolla, Kentucky Rounder, never my teacher, but can you blame them? They were solid and they kept running forever. There was some higher performance derivatives which proved to be equally popular. Then there was the Condo, the Stallion, the Venture, which was or is known as the old school G Wagon. Then, of course, there's the Hilux, or as you know it, the Hips. This was the 1980s model. And to date, the Hilux continues to dominate the highly lucrative bike market. And it's no surprise because it has a proven track record. One other car that I'll give special recognition to is the Mazda 323, Ledombolo. Then you move on to lifestyle vehicles. First and foremost, there's the Jeep Wrangler. You'd be surprised to know that there are some Wranglers which don't need touch gravel, yet they continue to sell like hotcakes. Secondly, there's the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, G63 to be more specific. Some go as far as saying it's a venture that went to private school, and I think that's a bit harsh. Don't get me wrong, you can get SUVs which offer better practicality, performance at a fraction of the price. But let's be honest, they don't have the same appeal nor appearance as the G-Wagon. At the end of the day, the G-Wagon is a status symbol. Thirdly, we have the Mercedes-Benz V-Class or Viano. They say it's a family car. But yeah, it's known for a lot of things, and it's one of those cars that, yeah, they stay up a lot of controversy. Then there's the Range Rover Sport, car for the breadwinners, the rich aunt, you name it. There's just something about a Range Rover, man. There's a certain appeal that it has, and if you're looking for street craze and road presence, this is the car for you. Till next time.